Hey, thanks for joining us. My name's Joe Tracy with the Way Out West Coalition, and we're going to talk about the new Meth 2.0 today. Hopefully, you've had a chance to check out some of our other webinars. If you haven't, please make sure to view those as well. But we're gonna we're gonna focus on the new methamphetamine that is actually circling our communities. And this new meth is more potent with the higher purity rate than the meth that we've seen in previous years. And meth is the second largest drug threat in Arizona, second to fentanyl. So super meth is produced at Mexican drug labs and is in very high quality, and it's the predominant version of what we see here in Arizona. So there's other ways to make meth as well, which we'll talk about here a little bit. But our state's methamphetamine problem epidemic has evolved over the years, and many facts on meth are now different. So it's important for us to take a firsthand look at the magnitude of this problem in our community and learn about the new meth. So one of the things that I do ask when people view our webinars here is if they could take the pre-survey. So these help with our funding sources and making sure that we're delivering information in a manner that's actually there was knowledge that was gained there. So if you could scan this and take the pre-survey, just a few questions. There'll be another one at the end to wrap it up here, but it is not required, but please, if you could, that would help us out. All right, so let's take a closer look at what methamphetamine is. So methamphetamine is a powerful, highly addictive stimulant that affects the central nervous system. And the drug's ability to rapidly release levels of dopamine and the reward area of the brain create a physical and psychological dependence that can lead to a substance use disorder. So it is chemically similar to amphetamine. So amphetamine is actually a prescription stimulant that increases specific types of brain activity. So some common street names include crystal, ice, meth, speed, snow, glass. And people who sell drugs often use emojis to advertise for sale on different social media types or social media sites. Those are some of the emojis you may see. All right, so what does meth look like? All right, methamphetamine can come in a variety of different forms, the most common form being crystal methamphetamine, which looks like glass fragments or shiny bluish white rocks. So you can actually, I've seen it where they've actually done it in liquid form as well, but then once the air hits it, it starts to crystallize. But this is primarily what you're going to see when you see meth there. Super meth is here in Arizona, and narcotics investigators say it's been a key factor in the number of overdose deaths over the last 2 years. Super labs in Mexico have applied basic industrial rules to producing methamphetamine. You might find super meth better known as crystal meth or ice. So 2/3 of our country's meth supply is produced in super labs in Mexico and Southern California and trafficked throughout the country. The remaining third is made in small labs like found in basement, garages, kitchens, bedrooms, barns, vacant buildings, the trunk of cars. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can actually make meth. Meth is actually a synthetic drug, so all you need is certain chemicals and you can actually make it. Meth is the number 2 drug threat in Arizona, second only to fentanyl. And this graphic shows the increase in the amount of meth that has been seized by law enforcement here in Arizona. So federal, state, and local law enforcement have seen a 247% increase in meth seizures over the past 5 years. Meth prices are on the rise. So by creating meth in mass quantities in super labs, cartels lowered the price of meth over the past few years, making the drug more attractive. And now, with the increase in usage, they're starting to increase that price again. So street value wise, Phoenix retail price dropped about 58% on average from about $350 an ounce in 2015 to $140 per ounce in 2019. But it's on the rise again to $266 per ounce. Although prices vary in each area, this represents our state's average here in Arizona. Also, it's cheaper in Phoenix than the rest of the country. Because of our proximity to where we are to the border, this is one of the first places that it comes through. As it goes further away, the price goes up. Today's super meth has a purity level of up to 97%, which means it's extremely potent. And the potency of the drug is simple economics. When you are wholesaling drugs like the Mexican cartel drug traffickers do, their product is going to be a lot stronger. It's going to come across the border pure. Then as it travels, it'll get cut and cut and cut as it goes across the country. So generally, when we're finding it here in Arizona, it's getting as close to that purity as possible. See, with meth today, we are seeing an increase in a number of IV drug users who are using a new meth in conjunction with opioids and other drugs. The use of more than one drug, also known as polysubstance use, is common. And another way that it's referred to is being crossfaded. This includes when two or more drugs are taken together within a short period of time, either intentionally or unintentionally. So intentional polysubstance use occurs when a person takes a drug to either increase or decrease the effects from a different drug or wants to experience the effects of the combination. Unintentional polysubstance use occurs when a person takes the drugs that have been mixed together or cut with other substances like fentanyl. And generally, they don't have any knowledge of that. Whether it's intentional or not, mixing drugs is never safe because the effects from combining drugs, it may be stronger and more unpredictable than taking the one drug itself. And it could be even deadly. See, in Arizona, we're actually seeing an increase in polysubstance overdose deaths, which involve more than one drug, including stimulants, opioids, xylazine, counterfeit pills. We're also seeing methamphetamine circulating in our communities that is mixed with fentanyl. Although polysubstance use has always existed among drug users, recent increases in the co-use of opioids and methamphetamine has become a growing concern. Several studies have found that co-use of stimulants and opioids can be attributed to the desire for an enhanced high to balance the effect of each individual drugs and manage the symptoms of withdrawal. A lot of times the user will actually take the methamphetamine to go up and then use the fentanyl or the opioid to bring themselves down, maybe to try to sleep or limit the effects a little bit. Methamphetamine is now being mixed with the dangerous drug fentanyl. Some meth users are unaware that the drug contains fentanyl.
First to make it to college.
Finally got his own place.
Would do anything for his friends.
Fentanyl doesn't care who you are, where you live, or that you're a good person. Fentanyl hides in meth. It takes just 2 milligrams to kill, and the body count is up 68% in the past year.
He was always such a good boy.
Learn more about fentanyl-laced meth at the website.
All right, so now we have a better understanding of methamphetamine. Let's look at the tools and resources that can help us respond. So we got to change our perception on substance use. So implicit bias is a well-studied phenomenon, and it refers to the unconscious attitudes we have towards groups of people, both positive and negative. Thoughts and feelings are implicit if we are unaware of them or mistaken about their nature. Implicit bias describes the automatic association people make between groups of people and stereotypes about those groups. Under certain conditions, those automatic associations can influence behavior, making people respond in a biased way, even though they're not explicitly being prejudiced. So we can encourage people to be aware of their own bias and beliefs and educate them on the risks associated with having these biases, specifically as it relates to substance use disorder and recovery. One of the things that we can do is to change our language to more of a supportive language. Okay, there is stigmatizing words that we use, and stigma is actually discrimination of an identifiable group of people, a place, or a nation. So a lot of times we talk about people with substance use disorder. We may have inaccurate, unfound thoughts like they're dangerous, they're dirty people, they're incapable of going through treatment. It's their fault. We now know that substance use disorder is a disease. So one of the things that we can do is use supportive or person first language. So we revise the words and terms used when discussing substance use disorder and those affected by it. So language matters, and language around substance use has evolved to decrease that stigma. And think about, I mean, what sounds better, addict or a person with substance use disorder? These are some of the things that we can do to help make that journey through recovery a little bit easier on the person that's going through it. Now, does still need to be that personal accountability and understanding that they need help and there is a process. We need to make sure that we're being as supportive as possible. So if you would like to learn more about any of the topics we discussed today, please visit the websites we have listed at the top of this slide. So you could find naloxone, that'll reverse an opioid overdose. We do have a training on that as well. The new meth, which is what we talked about here today, the findtreatment.gov, that's to start the process of getting through treatment. And then Talk Now AZ, we've set up to help parents have conversations and find a little bit more about substances to be able to start those combinations with their kids. So I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to our webinar here. If you could take the post survey to just make sure that we're delivering an effective program. I'll leave that up there for a second. And I just want to thank you from the Way Out West Coalition. There is my contact information right there. So please feel free to reach out to me. We do have other webinars that are on our website as well that you can view. Or if you'd like to have us come in person, have some conversations and a little more interactive aspect of it, please reach out to me. We can get that set up for you. So until then, have a great afternoon. Thank you.